Okay.
Wait, actually, we're live now. I merely want to do a poll before we get into our serious chat, which is just take two ladies.
Okay.
Because the other one was just crap.
What's your poll?
Looking. Who knows my nickname?
Oh, I know. I just said to her, her nickname's Roger. And Rog. Yeah.
Dodger Rog.
And I just said I have trouble when we're doing a video not calling her Rog because I'm thinking no one will know who I'm talking to. But anyways, just so you know, Nicole.
If she calls me Rog, if she says Rog, it's me.
Rog.
Just so everyone knows.
So Rog. So Rog was just telling me that she used to drive an Uber, and I was just having a little moment because I can't really imagine getting in an Uber with you for a couple of reasons.
What feelings would come up for you?
Well,
now that you know me.
Yeah, whether you're actually going to get me where I want to go.
See, those poor buggers didn't know me, so they didn't have any fear.
Thank goodness for them.
Yeah.
Or they would have had.
Bearings is not my thing.
Rapid heart rate
is not my thing. Rapid heart rate. Should we...
What's the chances that she's going to get me where I actually want to go? Anyway,
I'm not that bad, but
can you talk about why
yes,
you were driving an Uber?
Let's make this make sense for all of you. So the reason I was driving Uber was I'd started one of my businesses, and it was like, okay, it's still not off the ground yet, right? It's still like, what do businesses need? And we talk about this a lot. Businesses are cash hungry. Right? They need resources to help fuel them, and money's one of their fuels. And so for me at that time, it was like, great, what I can do is I've got my time, because we only have 3 resources, and we're going to go into this with you ladies, but we all have time, money, and skills. Mm-hmm. They're 3 resources that we have, and they're the resources, the only ones, by the way, that we can trade in. We sell them, we trade them in to get the 2 resources that we want more of and most, which is time and money, right? So when I was in my business and I'm like, okay, I need more cash injected into this business, I didn't have just $500,000 sitting in the bank to just be able to go, cool, that's taken care of, let's get on with the day in business. It was like, okay, I don't have the money, so I need to go create the money. I can either do that through skill, like creating an idea and monetizing something else, that's always an option as well.
Yep.
But at the time, I didn't have that skill, I would say. And so I had the resource of time. So I'm like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to work extra. I'm going to work my business, but then I'm also going to add an extra 3 hours, 4 hours a day, because it was also flexible, right? I started dialing down options. I'm not going to go just pack the shelf at Woolworths. I don't get to choose my time there. So for it to make sense, I'm like, I only have time to trade. I'm just going to put more of it in right now because I need the resource of money. And remember, what we talk about.
So that you can put it into your business.
So I can put it back into my business, because business is the asset, you, me, and our businesses, but it needs money. And so that's what I had to trade to do it. And this has opened up the big conversation of, what do we need? What do you need to get off the starting line of the circumstance that you're not happy with right now to get to the finish line of this life that you want to create?
And I'm just going to say it straight up. So many women that we speak with are refusing to pull the lever of the only levers they have to pull. Mm-hmm. And so that means choosing to stay stuck.
Yeah.
So choosing to say, no, I don't want to develop that skill. I don't like that skill. Oh, no, I don't like that thing to invest in. I don't have any time. Well, we all have the same amount of time, right? So that's a lie for starters. But just telling ourselves that lie on repeat is completely blocking.
So stuck.
Yeah, and I think the question, and I don't know if we were even going to go down this path in this conversation, but the question I really want to ask you is, why do you want to stay stuck? Like, how is it serving you to keep coming up with the same old excuses? I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the skills, when they're the only 3 levers that you have to pull. It's the only 3 levers anyone has to pull. And that putting that story on repeat, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the skills, is keeping you stuck in the cave that you're in.
And also, can I just say, it's also this, we have to get honest with ourselves, because this was a conversation we had with our ladies this morning in Women to Wealth Method, and they've all got a challenge in the next 24 hours, because we're going to unearth what that is and then move through it, right? But if we don't do that, was speaking about this before on our first attempt of this video, is I see it every day because I'm in these conversations with you every day. I want this, but the willingness to invest or create the skill, invest or create the time, invest or create the money is not there. We don't want to shift these 3 resources that we have. We want to grip them so tight, keep them where they are, just in case we lose them, just in case it doesn't work. But that won't work. You know, and I hope you feel when you listen to this, I think we want to get the message across so clearly and take you out of confusion or even this space of something else will come along or can something else save me? No, nothing else can save you. You have to save yourself, and you have everything you need in these 3 resources. You just need to see them differently and use them differently and have faith in them with what they develop, because they will create the 2 resources that you want, being the time and money, but this tight grip on them and this incongruency of beliefs. I believe I want this life. I believe I can have this life. You know, we all have a bit of like, oh, can I? Right? But I don't believe I can do that. No, I don't want to do that path. No, I don't like that business. No, I don't want to trade my time. I don't want to go get another job.
And I guess another way to look at it is the only way to get from where we are now to where we want to go is to invest either our time or our money or our skills.
Yes.
That's the only way to get somewhere. So if we're saying I'm not prepared to invest the time, I'm not prepared to invest any money, or I'm not prepared to up-level my skill set, I invest in myself to up-level my skill set, then we just can't move.
You have to be okay where you are. Yeah. You have to learn to get happy where you are. And I think you just said something. You go, and it'll come back to me.
Well, if we have, knowing there are only 3 levers, if we have no money, like if the bank account says minus 10 or minus 100, whatever, then we have to look to the other 2.
And that right there, so let's just say, and I want you to hear this, is that your circumstances matter. Your circumstances around that, the money that you currently have, the time that you currently have, the skill set that you currently have and could transfer, they actually matter. And I don't think that we get told this enough, because everyone's, you know, just kind of saying, just go here, just make it happen. And we start comparing. You as a woman start comparing to other women. But did you know her current circumstances? Because, and I share this with the women I speak with because I want you to know that it's okay and it matters. The woman who I speak with who has $500,000 sitting in her bank account and has that breathing space and runway to step into creativity and do a few options, that's a very different circumstance to the woman who has a month's worth of food and rent for her family. Now, both women are on we have the same objective. Let's get to financial independence. Let's build this financial fortress. Let's move over from employee income where we feel capped to earning business income where we make a difference and it's leveraged. But your first next step would be different, right? This woman's circumstance is different to this woman's. And so I think it's important for you to hear that your circumstance matters, but you need to know what your circumstance is. That's the first thing. You need to have so much clarity around what you say you want and who you say you are, because unless we have clarity around a vision, we can't manifest it. But then we need clarity around the plan, otherwise we can't do it. And that plan is going to involve skills, time, and money. So which one are we going to be trading in and working on to get the resources we want back?
Yeah, it's just a reality that we can't afford.
Yeah.
It's that we can't ignore. Sorry, it's a reality that we can't ignore. And if we can't afford to invest in the thing that's going to give us the skills, then we've got to say, you know what? We've got to instead.
What have I got to invest?
It's such a like a big thick brick wall. No, it's more like a lead wall. It's to say I can't afford it and I don't have the time, then we're completely stopping ourselves.
It's all you've got. Yeah. It's all of us have.
Yeah, no one has anything.
No one got there any other way except for those 3 things, and using them differently and working them differently and have faith in them differently and upgrading them differently.
And so we have to be willing to spend or invest, same word, I guess, invest our time differently than we currently are. And we have to be willing to invest our money differently than we currently are. There just is no way around this. It gets really frustrating, to be honest, to see so many women with such potential who can be completely living a different life, but they're so stuck on holding so tight to the way they're currently spending their time and the way they're currently spending their money. And that there's no way to shift until that shifts.
No.
And so that's this conversation, and we have to figure it out. So, for example, and I think it's strange to me that as adults we become less willing to make these shifts. When we were a kid, I think about, I finished school, a bunch of us went to uni, and it was the same for every university student, right? You had 3 jobs. I went to uni Monday to Friday. I pulled beer on Friday and Saturday nights. I poured petrol on all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, I looked after a little old lady to help her get up to go to the toilet at night. And it's just what you did. So you trade the time to get the money, to live, to get the skills. Like it just is how it is.
Because
and
that's what you had.
So many women reach out to us and say, I want to change my life. I feel like I've got more inside me, but no, I don't have any time to give. I don't have any money to give. I don't have any,
I can't see my skills.
I can't see my skills, or I can't upgrade my skills because I'm unwilling to give.
Or I don't want to learn that skill.
Or money.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I don't want to learn that skill. Like so many women say, nah, not going to do sales. Well, I'm sorry, but the only way to get on the right-hand side of the quadrant
Is
where
to sell.
The only financial freedom is business, and fundamental to business is sales. So maybe instead of saying I don't want to sell or I don't like sales, maybe maybe I could find a way to like sales. Maybe I could.
What if there is? Oh, why? There's other women who love it. Maybe I could too.
Saying a straight, flat no to the only thing that's ever going to get you there, you have to wonder what's going on in our brains, right? We have the biggest brains of any species on the planet. We need to start really using them and just stop. We've got these hard limiting beliefs going on, and we've got to let go of them, and we've got to be willing to open our mind and say, hey, there's someone who's exactly where I want to be. Maybe I should open my mind up and have a listen to how she's saying to get there, because I don't know, maybe there's something in it.
Yeah. And I think, well, I hope, we always hope that when we have these conversations, we can just get straight to the point for clarity. Because we'll always say, it's like, we just want to help you get clarity. And rather than being so overwhelmed in like, oh, that's where I want to go, but the path there's so murky. No, it's not. You've actually only got so many options. Like, yeah, there's loads of options and opportunity in this world. But based on these 3 levers, the 3 resources you have, which are different to the 3 that, same resource, but different capacity, different amount that another woman has, it helps dial down our decisions. It helps calm us and go, that's clear now. This is what I've got to do. Then the question is, are you willing to? And this will be the biggest thing, because when you can line up that and have congruency in what you say you want and therefore what you're willing to do, then we have some shifts happen. But it's this disconnection between those two, and maybe understanding of, hey, here's a circumstance, here's the 3 resources. Which one am I going to trade in right now and get going so I can get what I want and get to where what I want?
And if we have to drive Uber.
Yep, so back to Uber. That's why I did it, right?
Or beer.
Because that's all I knew. I was like, I have the time and I need it to be flexible, so then this option makes sense. Like sometimes we just need to get out of our head and get into reflection, because it gets really clear. It's like, here's what you have. Trade that one right now. No, do I want to do Uber forever? No, I said 2 months. I even set a goal around it. I'm like, 2 months. I'm going to get the resource of money, put it into myself so I can invest in someone to help coach me, put it into my business because it's the asset that's going to give me the resource of time and money, right? But that was just all I had at that time to go, that's the thing I'm going to trade right now, but I'm not going to stay trading it forever. I'm trading it now, so eventually I won't have to trade it.
I think you have to know there are so many ways to make money, and there are so many people making money, and they're no different to you. We're no different to you. It's just understanding these fundamental principles. I mean, a friend of mine just went from 0 to 400K in a month, in 12 months, with $7,000 of her own money. I mean,
And she's like got the biggest heart and she's incredible. And imagine like what's she gonna do with that money? Really good shit.
It's so doable.
Like it's amazing.
It's so doable. I took one of my current businesses from $0 to $1 million a year in 2 years with $500 of my own money. Like,
it's all proof, right? So it's
Yeah.
all there.
it's incredibly doable. You can do it.
This group of women in here.
And I'm
Gosh.
stuck on something at the moment. It's really bugging me. And it's that the fastest growing rate of homelessness is women over the age of 55. And it's just not okay. And it's up to us to go first, to prove to other women that we can have more money in our lives, which gives us more choice. So we don't end up being the one who's homeless at age 55 and out on the street. Because that's just not okay. And I don't want to be part of a society that just kind of
Allows that
lolls
to happen.
along and does
Normalises
whatever
that.
and then suddenly end up in that position, or seeing other women end up in that position. Just not okay. It's time for us to stand up, to speak out, to do the things that we need to do so that we can create real wealth for ourselves and our families. And when we go first, my friend goes to 400K a month. Guess what? I'm like, well,
I'm going to 400K.
400K a month. What am I sitting around 100 for? Like, that's that. Let's go, ladies.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So we got to go first. So let's do it, and let's inspire other women, and let's change the world.
Amazing. Always good to see you, ladies. Always good to chat. Bye.